Have you ever wondered what kinds of monsters crawl in the shadows of the VHS franchise? What if the stranger sitting across from you in a bar wasn't just quiet, but secretly a winged predator? What if a cult's miracle child was actually birthed from pure horror? And what about the Ratman hybrid that makes sewer legends sound a little too real? The VHS anthology thrives on disturbing, unexpected terror, and the creatures that emerge from these tapes are as nightmarish as they are fascinating. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today, we're diving deep into 10 of the creepiest, most dangerous monsters and creatures that the VHS series has unleashed on screen. From seductive succubi and glitching killers to alien horrors and satanic cults, each one has left fans both terrified and curious. Stick around, because not only are we exploring their stories, but we're also uncovering what makes them some of the scariest found footage nightmares ever captured. If you love horror, mythology, or just want to know which of these things you'd never want to meet in a dark alley, this video is for you.
Fucking problem, I wasn't gonna—
The succubus, Lily. The VHS franchise introduced us to one of its most iconic monsters right from the first film. Lily, the unnerving succubus from the short Amateur Night. At first, she looks like a shy, awkward woman sitting in a pub, whispering softly to Clint, "I like you." It seems innocent, maybe even romantic in a creepy way, until she follows him and his friends back to their motel. Things quickly spiral into nightmare territory. While the others are drinking and taking drugs, Lily stays fixated on Clint. But when Shane tries to use her for his sleazy video, her true form starts to emerge. Scales on her legs, fangs sprouting, and animalistic hissing. She brutally kills Shane and Patrick, drinking their blood and tearing their bodies apart with frightening ease. Her transformation escalates into something monstrous. Her forehead splits, and eventually bat-like wings burst from her back. The final image of Lily swooping Clint into the night, glasses falling helplessly to the ground, solidifies her as more than a creature. She's a tragic figure of unfulfilled desire. She genuinely liked Clint, but her monstrous nature makes her affection deadly. Lily embodies the perfect balance of seduction and terror, leaving her as one of VHS's most unforgettable villains. The Subject, Subject 99. The VHS 94 segment, The Subject, gives us one of the most disturbing sci-fi horrors in the franchise. Imagine waking up and realizing your human body has been torn apart and replaced with mechanical limbs. That's the horrifying fate of Subject 99, a woman transformed into a cyborg hybrid by the deranged scientist Dr. James Suhendha. James's experiments are grotesque, fusing flesh with robotics in his obsessive quest to create a successful hybrid. Subject 98 becomes a hulking killing machine with bladed arms, while Subject 99 retains her mind but is trapped inside a nightmarish new body. She's beaten, restrained, and even taunted with the remnants of her old human face floating in formaldehyde. But what makes Subject 99 compelling is her resilience. Despite her monstrous appearance, she fights back, not just against soldiers who view her as a threat, but against Subject 98 itself. In a heartbreaking finale, she uses the last of her battery power to destroy 98, collapsing only to later rise again in an eerie, unexplained moment. The Subject blurs the line between victim and monster. She didn't choose her transformation, but her very existence is terrifying. In her, we see the horror of science unchecked and the pain of losing humanity to machinery. The Rottma, Ratman. Few segments in the VHS anthology are as bizarrely chilling as Storm Drain from VHS 94, which introduces us to Rottma. Part rat, part human, and entirely nightmare fuel, Rottma lurks in the sewers beneath Westerville, Ohio. With pale skin, huge black eyes, and an unsettling grin stretching across his elongated face, he's both grotesque and mesmerizing.
The legend begins with rumors of a sewer-dwelling rat man, but reality is much darker. Reporter Holly and her cameraman Jeff discovered that the creature isn't just real, it's worshipped by a fanatical group of sewer-dwelling followers. The cult believes Rottma is a savior who will lead them into a new world, and they perform rituals using his corrosive saliva. When Rottma finally appears, his spit melts Jeff's face, and soon after, Holly herself becomes a vessel for his power. In a shocking twist, she returns topside, reporting the news as if nothing happened, until she vomits black bile onto her co-anchor, causing his face to melt too. Her sinister smile and whispered, "Hail Rottma," cement the Rat Man as not just a monster, but a symbol of infectious, cult-driven horror. Orange Grove Alien. The 2024 entry VHS Beyond brought us a new breed of terror with the Orange Grove Aliens. These creatures aren't your typical little green men. Instead, they're horrifyingly contorted beings with emaciated bodies, long multi-jointed limbs, and bulbous heads. Their legs bend grotesquely over their torsos, allowing them to crawl insect-like across the ground. The aliens debut in the Live and Let Dive segment, where a group of skydivers stumbles into a UFO encounter gone wrong. After their plane collides with the UFO, the survivors crash into farmland, only to be hunted by these relentless predators. The aliens display both speed and brutality, tearing apart humans with savage efficiency. Perhaps the most unnerving ability is their hypnotic face light, which they use to stun and manipulate prey. The climax leaves their ultimate purpose ambiguous, as Zack is abducted mid-escape by a tractor beam, vanishing into the unknown. The Orange Grove aliens combine cosmic terror with primal fear, embodying the horror of encountering something far superior and utterly hostile. Their insectoid movements alone are enough to make them unforgettable additions to the VHS monster roster. Sandra the Gorgon. In The Gawkers from VHS 99, Sandra begins as the mysterious new neighbor admired by teenage boys spying on her. At first, she seems like a typical girl next door type, but her statues around her house and her unsettling aura hint at something far darker. When the boys trick Brady into setting up her webcam so they can spy on her, Sandra reveals her true nature. Stripping off not just her clothes but her scalp, she unleashes her snake-like hair, exposing herself as a modern-day Gorgon. What follows is pure carnage. Sandra smashes through walls and rooftops, ripping open stomachs, decapitating one boy, and tearing others apart. Finally, she turns Dylan and Brady into stone, adding them to her growing collection. Sandra is fascinating because she isn't evil for the sake of it. She's vengeful. The boys violated her privacy and objectified her, and she responded with mythological fury. Her story updates the ancient Greek monster for a modern voyeuristic world, making her both terrifying and oddly justified. The Baphomet Demon. In Safe Haven from VHS 2, what begins as a documentary about an Indonesian cult spirals into apocalyptic horror. The Paradise Gates cult promises enlightenment, but their rituals hide something far darker. During the time of reckoning, cult members commit mass suicide, while others prepare sacrifices for their awaited savior. The savior turns out to be a monstrous demon, Baphomet, born violently from Lena's body in a grotesque, blood-soaked scene. With massive horns and hellish form, the demon isn't just a monster, but the embodiment of the cult's twisted faith. To make things even more horrifying, the demon calls Adam, Lena's partner, Papa, implying that this unholy abomination is their child. The mixture of cult fanaticism, body horror, and demonic rebirth makes Baphomet one of the most shocking creatures in the franchise. It's a reminder that blind faith can birth literal monsters, leaving Adam broken and laughing maniacally as the camera fades.
The Glitch. Tuesday, the 17th from the first VHS introduces one of the most surreal and terrifying killers, the Glitch. Unlike a typical slasher villain, the Glitch is almost impossible to see unless viewed through a camera, where it appears as a digital distortion in the footage. This entity stalks a group of friends in the woods, slaughtering them with brutal efficiency. Samantha takes a knife through the skull, Spider is repeatedly stabbed, and Joey has his throat slashed, all while Wendy, the supposed final girl, reveals she lured them there as bait to confront the Glitch. Even with her traps, the glitch proves unstoppable. It disembowels Wendy and makes her body glitch away, suggesting it consumes not just flesh, but existence itself. The combination of slasher tropes and digital horror makes the glitch stand out as both a monster and an existential threat. It's not just killing, it's erasing.
Wait. Don't fire. He's got one of the babies.
The Brooders. From Stork in VHS Beyond, the Brooders are reanimated husks created through grotesque alien intervention. Victims have their brains sucked out and fed to infants by a monstrous stork-like creature, leaving them as hollow, zombie-like beings with holes in their skulls. These creatures wield chainsaws and attack violently, making them more than simple zombies. They're soldiers for the alien stork. The WARDEN unit uncovers the horror while trying to rescue kidnapped babies, only to face hordes of brooders and the stork itself. What makes the brooders uniquely terrifying is their origin. They're not just dead brought back. They're mutilated parents and victims turned into grotesque tools of an alien cycle. Seeing a father like E.T. transformed into one adds emotional horror on top of the gore. The Brooders highlight VHS's knack for combining sci-fi with body horror, turning humans into brainless shells serving an otherworldly force. Ozzy the Wish Demon. From the segment Ozzy's Dungeon from VHS/99 presents one of the strangest and most unsettling creatures, Ozzy, a wish-granting demon. Hidden behind a grotesque game show set, Ozzy resides within a pregnant woman worshipped by a cult. When a grieving family seeking revenge is led to the dungeon, they're told they can make a wish, but wishes come at a price. As Donna makes her wish, Ozzy manifests violently, melting faces and leaving carnage in his wake. Ozzy represents temptation and corruption, the idea that desperation for miracles can lead people into the arms of demons. His presence turns a children's game show into a nightmare, blending dark comedy with raw horror. It's one of the franchise's most twisted concepts, reminding us that some wishes are better left unspoken. Mexican satanic cult. Closing out this terrifying list is the satanic cult from Bone Storm in VHS/Viral. Unlike the other entries, this isn't a single monster, but a horde of supernatural antagonists conjured through blood ritual. When skateboarders accidentally bleed on a pentagram, the cult manifests, attacking relentlessly. The skaters fight back with surprising skill, battling waves of cultists in chaotic, bloody combat. But no matter how many they kill, the cult's dark magic keeps them coming. What makes the cult horrifying is their sheer persistence and ritualistic power. They're not just humans in robes, they're entities tied to something demonic, feeding on violence. The chaos ends with one skater consumed, while the survivors barely escape toward the border. The satanic cult embodies the raw, chaotic energy of VHS/Viral, blending youthful rebellion with dark supernatural terror. They're proof that sometimes the scariest monster isn't one creature, but a whole community devoted to darkness.
Por favor, déjame pasar.
Our nerdy thoughts. The VHS franchise thrives because of its unpredictability. Each segment feels like opening a cursed tape. You never know what kind of monster will crawl out, but you know it won't leave you the same. From Lily's tragic succubus tale to the Brooder's alien nightmare and Rottma's cult-like infection, these creatures are memorable not just for their designs, but for what they symbolize. They tap into primal fears, loss of control, violation, transformation, faith gone wrong, and the terror of the unknown. That's what makes VHS special. It doesn't just give us monsters, it gives us nightmares that stick, stories that fester in the back of your mind long after the tape cuts to static. And honestly, that's why we love it. So, which VHS monster kept you up at night? Was it the glitchy killer, the sewer rat king, or maybe the demon child calling his father Papa? Drop your thoughts below, and as always, hail Rottma and hail horror.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.